So in this video, I'd like to share with you why I never use the phrase net worth when I'm talking about the monetary value of your possessions. So I prefer using the term net wealth. Hi, welcome back to LyfStyled. Well, today is quite gloomy, and yeah, we're setting really into the most of the leaves have already fallen, so we're really setting into late autumn and early appearances of winter. We've already had our first snowfall. Last weekend was frozen over. It was beautiful, but yeah, it's really making me miss, although it's cozy, but it's making me miss the summer weather already. I'm a summer baby, and most South Africans are. We just love our warm seasons. And really, for me, this season is about getting back to my creativity in a slow manner, and I hope you are here to come along with me. Today I'm having a walk around the pond and around the neighborhood and just enjoying what I'll be seeing in the neighborhood. And obviously I'm doing this with my baby. She's very chatty, so if you do hear her in the background, yeah, enjoy the babble that we are going through with my little one. Today I want to share with you why I never use the phrase net worth and why it might actually be the healthiest thing financially to do, to switch your mindset to thinking about net wealth instead of net worth. So most of the time when we are listening to the news or when any media talks about the person's financial level of wealth, they always refer to the person's net wealth. You will hear Jeff Bezos, he has a net worth of this much. Oprah Winfrey has a net worth of this much. And for me, it always kind of makes me cringe. It really does. It makes me cringe because I'm thinking that for any person, you cannot determine the worth of the person based only on monetary possessions or even physical possessions. Those are so limiting. It's very limiting to think of somebody's worth in that way, because today you might be worth $1 million, and tomorrow, just because perhaps your investments are not going well, the value of that investment might be lower. But does that really say that your net worth as a person has gone low? And the reason why I've changed my thinking with regards to this is because during my postpartum, I've I've become a bit more sensitive to the language that we use, and that might be just the way it will be going in the future. But I appreciate the sensitivity that I have kind of established here, and that's how I really came to thinking about this in a deeper way, because I never want to hear somebody refer to my level of wealth, where I am in my financial journey of building wealth, as this is my net worth. It would make me feel that like my value is limited only to that number. And it might make you feel that too. So I'll give you an example of when this happened recently. I am currently living through the 3 months period that I saved up for in order to basically spend more time with my baby. And it's 3 months where my income from my job is lower, but I actually have more freedom to spend with my family. So obviously, with the income lower, you could feel as though maybe you're not able to contribute more to the household in terms of the financial contributions. But there's a lot more that I'm contributing, right? There's making sure that the kid is well taken care of, making sure that the house is well kept, and all of that. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't, there's no monetary value that you can place on it, and therefore it might go unnoticed, but most of the time it is, and it's quite valuable. and hence I'm getting a lower pay because somehow I'm supposed to cover it with the work that I'm doing. Either get a bigger stipend if your family situation is set up in that way for you to receive a stipend while you are at home, or like me, you've already prepared for it, you have saved up for it, and you're able to live through it. At any point in that whole journey, I genuinely feel that my net wealth can still grow because during this time, I'm able to take time to uh, learn new skills or take up some entrepreneurship on the side or whatever that I want to do in order to make my wealth grow. My value is not limited to the amount that I have in my bank account. And even if you won the lottery, have you noticed how for people who have won the lottery, they talk about how people start treating them differently just because of the value of the amount that they have in their bank account. And at any point, I think that's a sad reality for anybody if you are in that situation where people just want to be around you because of how much you have. And like I'm not living in a fantasy world. I know the world is like that, but I'm hoping and wishing for a better world where you can have relations with other people without first being judged on how much you actually have. Here's what bugs me the most. Most people just treat the net worth as a measurement of the person's value, which is very sad. When numbers that you have in the bank account goes down, you slowly start seeing people who used to be jovial, who used to be very active and out in society, slowly retreat and basically draw into themselves because they based their value as a person and they attached it to the number that they have in their bank account. At any point, I hope that you can see past that. If you are that person, I hope that you can see past that. In South Africa, there's a huge gap between the wealthy, the very wealthy, and people who are extremely poor. And a lot of the times when you go and look at how happy those people who are very poor are, you find that they are still very happy. Yes, they don't have all the glitz and glamour or some of the essentials that you might find essential as somebody who is wealthy perhaps, but those people are still happy and they still contribute to the society in their own way. Their lives are more than their net worth. They are still valuable people to society and to their families, their friends. They're still living a life that they can enjoy. Attaching your personal value to the number in your personal bank account is actually quite dangerous because then you could start playing that comparison game where you want to compare how much you have to somebody else, and then that is going to determine your mood on a certain day or the value that you think that you can contribute towards society. The never-ending game. And then wealth becomes like a status symbol instead of it becoming a strategy on how you can live a life where you are financially free, but not only financially free, but also you have a free lifestyle. And here's where this mentality fails and creates friction in your journey of creating wealth. You basically are attaching your sense of value to something that's very volatile. If you lose your job, or if you go on maternity leave like I am now, or if anything changes, you have an accident, you lose a sense of your ability to provide for your family, you're not able to earn as much as you used to because you've attached your identity and who you are as a person to the amount of money that you can make. That becomes very, very tricky when those changes happen in your life. Not only that, but how you make decision also changes because all of a sudden you make ego-based decisions. Have you ever seen those people who all of a sudden when they get money, They start driving the fanciest car around because they want people to know who they are. Yeah, of course. Those are ego-based decisions when you could have taken the same capital and invested it in making more money. Or you could have done something that would bring you more lifestyle freedom. Not only that, this starts increasing your anxiety because if anything fails, you're the one who's responsible, right? That's basically who you are as a person if anything changes. So it creates so much anxiety when you start seeing your relationship with money as something that is not empowering you. It keeps you locked in a way of you're not being empowered, but instead it is stealing the joy that you have from your life, because every time when your bank balance goes down, then your sense of self-worth also goes down with it, and therefore leading to your relationship with money becoming very heavy instead of being empowering for you. So what actually works? How can we remove this friction? How can we remove this language barrier that is used all over the media and so in such a prolific way? How can we change our language to suit what we are trying to measure? We're trying to measure wealth, not the person's actual worth. And to determine that, you need to change first by saying, I'm measuring the net wealth of the person, not their net worth. And all you need to do is measure the financial assets that the person has, the assets minus the obligations that you have. And it's quite simple. I have created the wealth suite so that you can simply track and know at any given moment where on the financial journey you are at. You can find the wealth suite linked right down below and start knowing exactly where you are on your financial journey to building wealth. Once you start using the wealth suite in order to track your net wealth, you can simply see that you can have systems that are built in order to take care of building your wealth. You become more in control of your net wealth situation, because at any given moment you know exactly how much you have, how far you are in your journey, how any dip in how you can earn more, you can actually bounce back from that dip very easily. And any dip does not leave you feeling worth less, because your value is worth more. And most importantly, you start asking, how free am I becoming? Instead of thinking, okay, how much is my net worth growing? Or how has it declined? You start thinking of how free you're becoming in your life, how free you're becoming in your lifestyle that you want to live, how free you are becoming to do whatever you want to do with your life. Whenever you start feeling stressed out about money, just ask yourself, is this a net worth problem? Is this a problem that I should solve by creating systems that will actually build my wealth? If it's your sense of feeling that it's your net worth, then I suggest that you look for other avenues, because that shouldn't be attached to your finances. But if it's a money problem, or if it's a money situation that you're going through, then it's easy. All you need to do is build systems that will really create more money for you, more wealth in the financial aspects of it, and you never have to feel that way again. If it's a systems issue, all you need to do is adjust one lever at a time. You either have to decrease the expenses that you have, and or you can increase how much you make, the income that you get in, and you can start investing in order to grow your wealth. Whether you invest in art, your skills, or you start a business, or you buy stocks in other businesses, whichever form of investment that you choose will grow your wealth, and it will take a long time. I'm not saying that it will grow your wealth all at once at the same time, but it will grow your wealth in such a way that you will never be able to comprehend unless you start doing it. So another thing is just to start. I actually talked about the friction that a lot of people face in the video linked below, where I talk about the friction being that most people are not even able to start on whatever they want to do. And once you start doing this, it removes the ego from your sense of being able to provide and have an income or even start a business. It removes that barrier of comparing yourself to others or wanting to be seen by others to have a certain type of net worth, so to say, in the old way of saying it. That just is not true, because you are definitely worth more than that. So this removes the ego and it brings intentionality to how you actually build your journey to create wealth, how you go about in your journey to create wealth without any ego attached, because it is not about you as a person personally, it is about just the financial aspect where you can build your net wealth. So at any point, I'd want you to ask yourself, when was the last time you actually felt happy, or you felt your sense of being enlightened without spending money? When was the last time you felt happy without spending money? When was the last time you felt content without spending money? If you can answer that, then you know how your wealth is not actually linked to your worth. Your financial wealth is not linked to your worth as a person. It is not an identity for you. So for me, the last time was simply coming out here, getting back into my creative flow, and being able to speak to you like this. This always sparks a sense of joy in me, and I'm happy that I'm here with you right now. But for now, thank you for being here with me, and I hope to see you on the next one. Don't forget to check out the Well Suite in the description down below.